mushrooms are incredibly diverse, and there are some mushrooms like psychedelic mushrooms that in large doses or small doses can help with your cognition and brain function. There are mushrooms that help with gut function, with immune function. We find cancer drugs from some mushrooms, but there are also mushrooms that are extremely toxic. Hi, I'm Josh Kellogg. I am an assistant professor of metabolomics and natural products here at the Pennsylvania State University. Psychedelic Mushroom Day is a day kind of dedicated to the understanding, the almost, you might say, celebration of the use of psychedelic mushrooms, both recreationally, but as we're finding more and more, they're important medicinally as well. While most people think of psychedelic mushrooms as hippies, the 60s, the counterculture movement, having recreational purposes, as the research has gone on in the last few decades, we've found that there are striking benefits to these mushrooms for a lot of mental health conditions. So the research is continually evolving, but there have been studies where these sort of mushrooms have importance for PTSD, treatment of depression, anxiety, OCD. So a number of mental health conditions, we find that these mushrooms have some efficacy and some potential to treat. We have, for a lot of these conditions, and we have drugs already on the market. The difficulty is some of these are not super effective. They can have really dangerous or undesirable side effects, which not only complicates people using them, but also lowers the rate that people actually stick to these treatments and can have long-term benefits. So there's always a goal of us trying to find new treatments. Mushrooms, we know these mushrooms have activity on the brain from a lot of their recreational purposes, and there's a long documented history of mushroom use in religious ceremonies, shamanistic rituals, and things like that all across the world. So there's reason to believe that they have an impact on the brain, on consciousness. So they were kind of a natural point to start at to look for new potential therapies. Microdosing is different in the sense that instead of taking a large dose of mushrooms that you would recreationally to have a hallucinogenic experience, you take a fifth, a tenth, or less of a recreational dose. And the reasoning is you will still have some of the neurological effects of it without the wild hallucination psychedelic experience. So the reasoning behind it is we can unlock some of the potential of the mushrooms, but in a more controlled way. So we're trying to educate people to make sure that when they're out purchasing or looking at these products, that the products are safe, the individuals, the consumers, know what they're putting in their bodies, so we can avoid any side effects. Some of these commercial products have sent people to the hospital, and so we definitely don't want to see that happen. The topic of psychedelic mushrooms, microdosing, and their health effects is a rapidly growing field. More research is needed. We don't have the end result, but so far what we've found, we being science, what has been found has been very promising, that it has some therapeutic applications, but as always with most science, more studies needed to make sure that they're safe, there's no long-term effects that we might be missing.